Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for Game of Thrones. This one is going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of Game of Thrones Season 8. This is going to be for Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 4. So, we have 2 episodes left now for Game of Thrones. Oh my god, man. So, it's coming down to the wire now. We are over halfway through now this season, and man, I am super pumped for these last 2 episodes of Game of Thrones. I cannot wait to see these episodes go through. So, that said, that established, spoiler warning, of course, usual. If you have not seen this episode yet, we're gonna do a little bit of a review for this week's episode of Game of Thrones, as usual. Oh my god, I love this episode so much. So, spoiler warning if you haven't seen it yet. So, about halfway through this episode, maybe a little less than that, I was like, okay, this episode's gonna be probably a little slower. We're gonna see, the characters, getting wasted or whatever, and that's mainly, that's it, right? And I didn't really think anything of it. Then we get to a little over that, half-hour mark, and it just goes from like here to here, and it's super exciting. So we have, of course, at the beginning, of course, they burn the bodies. We see a little bit of a sad scene there, and then of course they decide that they're gonna get wasted. Everybody starts drinking and stuff, and Tormund and, everybody else, they all start drinking. We see a relationship start between Jaime and, Brienne. Of course, that does kind of end pretty soon after when Jaime decides to take off, which I thought was a really interesting scene as well, that he might still be loyal to Cersei in some kind of way. And kind of, takes off and breaks her heart, So, yeah, we saw that, of course, between Jaime and Brienne, of course. We see Jon and Daenerys for a little bit. Jon tells, which Daenerys didn't want him to, tells, Sansa and Arya, about him, not exactly being a Stark, not, pretty much, but I like how he said it where he's like, you have to promise not to tell before I even tell you, So I like that. That was also really, really fun stuff. Great dialogue there. We also have, of course, Arya and the Hound who are on their way to King's Landing. So that is going to be super exciting, of course, next week. I don't know if we'll see them next week, but, obviously they're on their way there. So, that's going to be huge when that does happen, of course. So she's on her way there with the Hound. We have Tormund who takes off with some of the others, of course, to Castle Black, which, we'll have to see if we see the character again. I'm assuming we'll probably still see Tormund eventually. I don't know. When he was saying goodbye to Jon, I was like, man, is this the last we're going to see of Tormund of the series? And I'm like, no, we got to see him in one of these last 2 episodes. Probably episode 6, but, we're bound to see Tormund again, I think, just one more time, before the series is actually finally, done and, finished and, finished completely. So, we have that, of course, and, then we get the exciting stuff. So we get the stuff with the ships, of course. All of the ships are basically destroyed and they have to all jump into the water. Of course, one of the dragons is killed, which I thought was definitely, really, really crazy. Jacaerys, of course. And, oh man, brutal scene. You see the dragon goes down, and then the ships get destroyed. Tyrion has to jump, and they, of course, swim to shore. But, of course, the one character that is captured is Missandei, right? Is that her? Is that her name? Missandei. I believe that's her name. And, of course, she's captured by Cersei in this one, which I did not expect that. I did not expect that at all. And especially when that happened, I was like, oh, no. I was like, oh, this is not going to go well. And I was like, this is so Walking Dead, Governor Herschel, Governor talking to Rick about, we can change and stuff. We don't have to do this, so like that at the end, just such a Governor and Herschel, situation, with, Tyrion kind of being the Rick in this situation. So, man, that was crazy, of course. And then, of course, we have the others that go back to Dragonstone for a little bit and go to King's Landing to try to get Missandei back. So, we do have Qyburn that does go out, of course, and, then Tyrion, of course, marches that way as well. And Tyrion tries to go talk to Cersei. So, he tries to reason with her, which I definitely... This scene was huge. The scene felt so, there's so many things I could say about this scene, but I was on the edge of my seat the entire scene, and of course you think for just a split second, even though I really didn't, most of it, that maybe Cersei won't kill Missandei, but she does, of course. And the Mountain, of course, cuts her head off and just, she goes down, right? So, then, of course, he looks back at, Tyrion looks back at Daenerys, and Daenerys is just, oh my god, she's pissed. And we see that it looks like she's going to be going for the dragon next episode. So, oh my god. So, and then, of course, the promo for episode 5 looks absolutely amazing. Now, in terms of all that, man, the ending was just such, can I say unexpected? Once I saw her captured by Cersei, I was like, honestly, she's probably dead. This is the Game of Thrones we're watching here. But, man, when it happened, it just happened so quick to me. And, it was over before I even knew it, So, for that, this episode, absolutely crazy. And definitely, the highlight for me would definitely be the end. I absolutely love that. And especially the death of Dracarys as well was really, really crazy, also. But another thing we saw in this episode is, Bran make a quick return, of course, with Jaime and Tyrion. And, of course, he doesn't kill them. He, breaks Tyrion's nose, as he says. But I really was not a fan of that. When Bran came in, it's like, man, Bran, he had, we saw so many scenes with Bran with, Tyrion in the past season, so many scenes with him and Jaime. It's a shame that they're on opposite sides now. It really is, because honestly, you guys remember some of the earlier seasons with Tyrion and Bran. They were like, honestly, they were probably the only two people in King's Landing that were really trustable, really. So to see that Tyrion, Jaime are both against Bran now, it's just, yeah, it's really sad to see. And when he came in there, for sure, and found Jaime and Tyrion and broke Tyrion's nose, and just that whole scene like that. Oh man, definitely you can feel bad for Tyrion, for sure. So a big Tyrion episode, that's for sure. We saw a lot of Tyrion this episode. He really stepped up, especially at the end, and tons of epic stuff in this episode. So this is a crazy episode. We see it, 2 deaths really because of the dragon as well. But I really think that this is one of those episodes where they really trick you. They make you think after the long night that this is going to be a calmer episode. They really do, and I really thought that this would be a calmer episode, and I did think it for the first 20-30 minutes. But then once you get into the back half of the episode and you just see how crazy things go, it's an amazing episode all the way through. So write your comments in the comment section below. I need to hear from you now. What did you think about this episode of Game of Thrones? Did you love it? Did you love it? Did you like it? Did you, kind of like it? Did you hate it? What did you think about this episode? For me personally, I love this episode. This was an absolutely awesome episode. We'll have to see next week what we see with, of course, Cersei and, the Golden Army and stuff. And, definitely next week, Game of Thrones, their second last episodes are always huge. So, next episode, we're, of course, probably set up for something huge. And the series finale as well. So, 2 episodes left. Super excited. If you want to catch my review of those 2 episodes, and, of course, you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please click that subscribe button to get all my brand new Game of Thrones videos. Of course, going to be doing tons of Game of Thrones videos leading up to the big finale, the last 2 episodes of Game of Thrones. So anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.